So I thought I would have been in Lemoore by now, but it's foggy. So I went through Avenel. I went through Avenel, and of course that solar thing is not working because it's foggy. There's no sunshine. So I did a little bit of research on these devices. They're called off-grid solar chargers. They're not connected to the grid. Some of them are because they actually put energy into the grid. But some of them aren't. Some of them that are out there way out in the boonies and Montana and Wyoming and stuff like that. Out in, the desert, Arizona, then they have some that are they're called off-grid solar chargers. And they call them canopies. And so they've got one in Avenel, California, and they got one at the police department in Huron, California. And so I've used the one in Avenel, and it's free. And I charged up yesterday at 6,000 watts, level 2 charging. So that's a lot of energy. I didn't even attempt to go to the police department here in Huron today because I know it's not going to be working because it's foggy. Even though it's supposed to have batteries, like I was saying last night, I think they have batteries, but I told you that this company that had all these things that I just told you, off-grid solar electric vehicle chargers, they just went out of business overnight, right? And I told you that I think they got bought out by who, right? He just wanted to sink it. They just wanted to sink it. And so that's probably why nobody has replaced the batteries in them, because they don't work at night. They only work when the sun is shining. I'll bet you somebody went over there and took the batteries off. Probably. Or they're just, completely depleted, drained. They need to be replaced. And it turns out I checked out this one company. It's called Electrify America. That's the one that's here at the police department. And it turns out that their batteries, because I wanted to know what kind of batteries they use, because battery technology has gone through the roof since the battery technology that was, when these things were built 10 years ago, probably. And so it turns out that it's actually Tesla Powerwalls. The Tesla Powerwall batteries, those are what they have in them. And so these people need to straighten up, fly right, and get with the program and get those batteries replaced so we can charge our car at night, even though it is free, right? So I was at the travel center at the Interstate 5 and 269 here in California. It's called Avenel, California. And so I pulled over to the side of the road to find out how far it was to the chargers in Lemoore. And it's goofy because before you could just open up Google Maps and drop a pin and it'll tell you how far it is, right? You just hit directions. And now it stopped working. And so I had to ask specifically, because I know there's AI. So I asked specifically, how many miles is it from the Easy Trip in Avenel, California, travel center, to this location? And it said, oh, it's about 20 to 25 miles, right? AI knows exactly how many miles it is. And so, so then I asked, how many miles is it from Chevron gas station to this location over in Lemoore? And it's the same exact miles. So I'm traveling an extra like 10 miles so that I could charge the car. But I'll have more charge than I would if I would have just gone there from that point. Okay. And so I came to Huron to charge the car, but I couldn't charge it for free because it's foggy. There's no sunshine. So I came back to this place that I learned how to use last night. And I hooked up to the first charger on the other side this time. I'm on the same exact one I was last night now. But I hooked up to the far one on the far over there. And I guess somebody busted it out of there. Okay? Because they have a clip. You have to put your phone up there. Or if you got one of these special RFID cards that take forever to get here, right? So I guess everybody just uses their phone. I don't know how it knows which phone I have, right? But I've been using this one. I better make sure I bring this one all the time to not get any surprises until I experiment with it some more. And so somebody busted it out, right? It has like a lock switch, but it's all made out of plastic. And so I didn't even realize that. I forgot about that. And so I started the charger, and the car, all the lights lit up, was going beep, 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 beep. So I was like, oh man, what the hell is this? So remember I read something in the manual that said, you got a timer on it, right? You can tell the car what time to start charging, to start letting take a charge, like if you're at home and the rates are cheaper after 8 p.m. or before a certain amount, right? It has a timer on it. And if that timer is set, it won't charge until that time. And so all the lights started blinking, blink, blink, blink. And I was like, oh man, now I'm going to have to go back home because I don't have the book with me. I got the manual, the owner's manual at home. And so I need to start carrying it with me. So any of you people who are getting an electric car, make sure you have the owner's manual or you'll be hating life. And so I'm like, oh, this damn thing, the clip is broken off of it. And so I put it back and I moved into the second stall because there's 4 stalls here. There's 4 units. And I went over and I plugged it in, not even thinking, right, that it's got the same damn thing broken. I was like, maybe it doesn't need one, right? Maybe it doesn't need a clip. And I wasn't, not until right now I realized, yeah, that's right. They're supposed to be locked. So I tried that one and it didn't work either. And then that's when I realized, and I went over and I looked at this one. I said, yeah, this one's locked. So two of them don't even work. Because that plastic piece that's supposed to hold them, if it's not in there, the car won't charge. Don't ask me why. And so those need to be fixed. Those need to be repaired. What the hell? They're going to wait till they're all busted so nobody can charge their car? This is the same kind of crap that's going on all over everywhere. They're leaving people stranded from freaking negligence. Gross freaking negligence. And so I'm charging my car now. It's charging up pretty good. 6,000 watts. That's pretty powerful. So, you know, I'm going to charge up the car and then I'm going to try to make it to the next town. Right? But I ain't taking off not knowing where everything's at and this and that. Um, uh, but the next town is Lemoore and Hanford. These are the next towns that I'm going to check, and I'll be reporting all this stuff to you. This is the kind of crap that's going on, right? It's difficult enough you trying to figure out how to charge your card, how to charge your car. There's all kinds of bull crap. You can't just use a credit card. It's pathetic. And there's a lot of things I've been reading that owner's manual for 2 nights straight already. And now with this, now I realize that I have to have that manual in here. And so last night when I got home, it was foggy last night too. After I got done charging here and I went home, I didn't make myself any fish. I ended up having, I had made this squash. I don't know if you call it squash or zucchini, right? But I call it squash. I ended up, I had made some squash with Swiss cheese, it's all I had, so I threw it in there, and I ended up making that last egg, and that's what I had, squash and egg. But the egg was not a double yolker. It was a single yolker. I would say probably 70% of the eggs that were in that carton from Walmart, it's the cage-free eggs, because they didn't have pasture-raised eggs when I was in there. It must have sold out or something. But I'd got the cage-free. That's the next best thing. And 70% of those eggs that were in there were double yolkers. So I ended up having that, and I had my organic graham crackers. So that was, that helped out a lot. Having those organic graham crackers. They don't taste like the other ones, but I think somebody is screwing around a little bit, because I'm pretty sure, I'll ask AI, but I'm pretty sure that graham crackers are supposed to have maple syrup in them. Not maple syrup, are supposed to have molasses. And I don't think these have molasses. They have you can taste a lot of vanilla, right? But I think somebody's playing around, because I'm also going to show you these other products. And then I'll tell you about the electricity some more, okay? But I'm also going to try these other products where these people are freaking goofing around, okay? They are actually goofing around, acting stupid with this stuff. And I'm talking about the soda pop, right? The pop culture is putting some things in there that are kind of whack, but it is what it is. It's the best that's out there, right? It's the best I've found so far. It's called pop culture. And I'm going to actually try to pick some more up. But I saw this other brand called Poppy. Okay. And it has a bunch of different things, but it actually has root beer, right? It has root beer. So I was like, let me try this out, right? And it doesn't use what root beer uses. I looked at the ingredients, And in so doing, guess what else I found out? I found out that root beer is made with it's made with this herb. Okay. A lot of hillbillies know about this herb. This is what they use for colds. It's medicinal. It's almost like a camphor or eucalyptus, menthol type herb, and they make tea out of it. That same herb is what they make root beer out of, in case you didn't know. Okay. But on these clowns over here who are screwing around, they didn't use that root. They're using some freaking crazy root, but I'm going to pick some up to find out what the hell's going on, right? And but guess what else I found out? That the root beer back before 1960 is not the same root beer we're drinking now. The FDA, you know who the FDA is, right? The FDA is supposed to be a consumer protection agency, and it's bullcrap. They are the strong arm of multi-billion-dollar corporations. Okay? And so this makes me think, why did the FDA make these people who knew herbs back in the 30s and the 20s? They knew all about herbs, right? And this is how they made root beer off of the what herb was that I just told you? What herb was that? Now I forgot the name of the herb. But anyhow, that herb has a certain chemical in there. And the FDA went over and they told them that it's illegal for you to use this compound that is in this herb that people have been using forever medicinally, because it's bad, right? Anything that's good, they're going to say it's bad. And if it has to do with anything medicinal, and because they know their stocks will dump off people not well, right? A patient cured is a customer lost. And so you can do research yourself and you'll see that this herb was used to make root beer. And guess what that compound is that they took out of that herb, out of the root beer that everybody and their mamas used to drink in the old days? Ecstasy. They say that compound is a piece of cake for people to make ecstasy out of it. That's why they took it out, because they don't want them stepping into their freaking, that's where they make all their money at. The Bob Beck was the one who let me know that the ones who run the multi-billion-dollar corporations, who run the illegal drugs, also run 50% of the illegal drugs. The ones who run all the legal prescription drugs also, let's see if that somebody pulled up in a Tesla. Let's see if it actually charges. If not, he's going to have to come and use this one right here, right next to me. But so how does that grab you? Root beer, ecstasy. You got it to turn on. He's plugging it in. Let's see if it charges his car. We'll find out in a minute. I don't know how he can charge his Tesla off that. Oh, he's charging his electric scooter too. That's a pretty cool idea. I ought to get one. go exploring around. Okay, so now let me get back to the electricity. Okay, so you know that I'm charging off these chargers. I'm this is this is tripping me out kind of in a way, right? I'm gonna order this thing. It's called the Leaf Spy. With the Leaf Spy, it's like an OBD diagnostic reader, and I used one on the last car I used to use, but with this diagnostic reader, it tells you what's wrong with your car, right? But this is an electric car, so it tells you all the things on an electric car, and so it gives you a full diagnosis of the battery. Like right now, it's charging. I could be watching on my phone, and I can see how many watts it's drawing, and how many amperes it's drawing, and I can see how many voltage. Now, what would be even better, because everybody's going to start using these electric cars, for these engineers, what they should do, you know it and I know it, is they should put an oscilloscope on that bad boy. Okay? An oscilloscope to monitor the quality of the signal. Because a lot of these, we're running on a different, before they used to take care of all this at the nuclear power plant. Everything was freaking precision, right? Even when, like, if your electricity goes out, if you turn off the electricity on something, if you pull the plug on something, it sends a huge freaking voltage spike, blows up all kinds of crap. And well, the people at the nuclear power plant, that's why they don't do it. When they have a power outage, I don't know how it shuts down, but when they're switching the power back on, oh, he's charging his car and takes off. That's a pretty good idea. But I wonder why it charges a Tesla, but not this one. And so oh, you know why it charges a Tesla? Because it has that adapter. And so that's a good idea. Carry one adapter and adapt it onto another one. But I feel like getting me a cup of coffee. Where do they make good coffee at? You see, there's a place that makes good coffee. Where was it? I'm trying to think. I was just gonna have some the other day. Where was that at? I don't remember. I know there was somebody had good coffee, and I was gonna have some coffee, but I didn't want to, because have to go in and get my blood pressure taken pretty soon. But was it in Kalinga? No. Oh yeah, it was yesterday when I was getting that trying to get that fast charge. Right there, they have good coffee. Because at the end of the harvest season last year, I went into that store. I never went into it, but at the last day of harvest season, I pulled in and got me a cup of coffee, and it was real good. And anyhow, so the engineers who are making this Leaf Spy with all those other stuff, Bjorn over in Netherlands, he's showing it all the time. He shows electric cars. Bjorn Nyland is his name. I was getting him confused with Chris Norland, so I just remembered his name right now. But it should have an oscilloscope on there so that you can see the signal, and however you would do it, to check the cleanness, the purity of the signal, because this is important. This is important on these cars. These people don't even know. They don't have the slightest clue about that. But I'm not going to be more specific. If you know, you know. Okay? So anyhow, so 6,000 watts, you know, I've got a background in electronics, so I can make sense of it. And where a lot of people, if they're looking at these, I guess you call them metrics, they're not going to know what the hell. They're not going to know shit from Shinola, what it's talking about. And so 6,000 watts is a lot of energy. If you plug in a 6,000 watt heater at home, let's say you don't have good insulation, right? First thing, it's going to trip the circuit breakers, right? And anyhow, if you get to where you got it all set up to run a 6,000 watt heater in there, yeah, it'll keep you kind of warm. I don't know what the BTUs, ask AI. How many BTUs is that? And but you know what that will do to your electric bill, right? If you're paying, like, you know, in the mild months you're paying $50 a month. In the winter you're going to pay 75. In the summer you're going to pay 75, 80 because your cooler's running, you know, 24 hours sometimes, all day and all night sometimes. And well, if you were to run a 6,000 watt heater, your electric bill would probably be 5 times that, at least. That is freaking enormous amounts of energy what this thing is pumping into it right now. 6,000 watts, right? That's 6 kV. Well, these Teslas, they can charge right now, any day of the week, at a fast charger, which are all over the place, at 100. Okay? 6 is enormous. And they can charge at 100. That is freaking bizarre. But anyway, so I was thinking about the 6,000 and the electricity right here, don't ask me why, is 30 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay? Where I live, it's 50 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay? Is it any wonder that this guy's coming down here to charge his car? And then took off back home. Instead of charging it at home, it's cheaper here. California has the most expensive electricity in the whole nation, second only to Hawaii. If you live in Utah or Mississippi, all those other states, Alabama, you pay pennies. Okay? In other words, when you pay $2 to charge your car, over here in California, we're paying $10. That's a big difference. When you pay $20, we pay $100. That's a big difference. But anyhow, this electricity right here that I'm charging on this one is 30 cents a kilowatt hour. And the one I was at yesterday, the fast charger, was like 50 cents. And then if you go down to this other side over here on the interstate, they have a whole bunch of fast chargers there too, 50 to 60 cents. Okay? I guess it's for convenience of using these huge freaking things. You can't supply that amount of energy at home. You have to have huge, big old freaking battery packs to supply that type of energy. So they charge you more. But basically, it's the same price they're charging me for. That's what I pay, 50 cents at home. And so the electricity is cheaper here. So it's charging at 6,000 watts. Okay. And at home, you can only charge up to 1,000 watts. That's how much you can't put out more than that. Some people, 1,500 watts, right? But for simplicity's sake, let's just say 1,000. And when you're running extension cords, okay, it's going to be 1,000 watts. You're not going to get more than that. And so when I got home last night, it said that this thing needs to charge for 10 hours on that home charging, the slowest level 1. Said it needed to charge for 10 hours. So I plug it in and I stopped and I done a double take and I go, my electric water heater is on I have it on remote control. I only turn it on when I'm going to use hot water, right? Because it doesn't even have a jacket on it. It'll send your bill through the roof. And I'm like, man, I only turn that water heater on for an hour at a time, and this thing's going to be running for 10 hours. Watch my electric bill, right? And so this thing charges for basically almost, well, you can charge for free, right? You can charge for free if the sun was out, because these chargers that are around here, these solar channels chargers, who the business went out of business, nobody owns them, right? They're just sitting there for people to use them, and you can charge for free. 6,000 watts, charge for free. This thing charges 6 times faster. This sat all night long. It sat overnight, charging 10 hours. And that's going to be expensive because it's 50 cents a kilowatt, and probably even more than that after you pass your usage limit. And so I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm going to start filling up before I come home. When I go to the post office, before I come home, I'm going to stop by there and charge it up for an hour at 6,000 kilowatts for free. Right? When I come back into town, stop in there for half hour, right? Because most of the time, that's all you do is you just run to town. It's 3 miles away, 3 miles back, run to the post office, run to the stores. But now, you'll never be stopping to put in that $30 worth of fuel. While other people, they put $80, right? But my vehicle is super efficient, one of the most gas saving cars there is, but you still put in $30 a week. You won't be doing that. Because each time you charge, you're getting about $6 worth of free electricity off of free energy coming off of the sun, clean. While other people are out there polluting the planet. We're breathing their pollution, right? That stuff is bad. It has benzene and all kinds of crap, especially like if you come in Los Angeles and you're at a traffic jam. It's really, really bad. I never knew it was that bad until I was like in a traffic jam and I rolled my window down. So anyway, I guess I'm ready to go. It says that there's still 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I think I can make it from here. It should be good. Oh, it's 25 miles. Yeah, I can make it. Oh, but I don't know which one I'm going to. That's why I have to top it off completely. So stay tuned. I'm going to sit here for a little while longer. And let's see, show you. See, those two over there would not work on my car because the connector is broken. But this guy just pulled up in his Tesla, started charging his Tesla there. But you see how it has this lever here and it doesn't come out? Well, you see this one here, how it just comes right out. So that one's the same way. But yeah, I guess that Tesla's charging okay because they use an adapter. They use, you know how they were trying to, you know how they were, which side are you on? Yeah. You know how they were trying to play it off like Tesla's the most popular adapter, right? If you're traveling to Arizona, yeah, maybe, right? If you're traveling cross country, because they have the Tesla superchargers on the interstates. But I didn't find this out. You know how long I've been studying electric car. I just finally got an electric car. And I didn't know that there were all these plugs. This is a Japanese style plug. This is a Japanese car. And the plug they use is a 1772. It's a J1772. And I didn't know that was, I knew about CHAdeMO. But the CHAdeMO is the fast charger part on it. The other connector that Japan is using is the J1772. And that's what's everywhere. The J1772. It's a level 2 charger. But it's still putting out a lot of juice. I mean, it's like almost 20 times less than a fast charger will put out, right? But you know, when you're talking 20 kV, 20 kilowatts, 30 kilowatts, 40 kilowatts, that's just freaking crazy, right? Your car's going to charge in like 5 or 10 minutes. But they say that that's not really good. Another thing is that, well, the new batteries, it doesn't matter. The new batteries will charge as fast as what you can dish out. They'll take it. They don't care. They don't degrade. They have basically zero degradation. After 100,000 miles, it was like a brand new battery, or 1 million miles. The new batteries that are about to, the technology is just, it keeps getting, anywho, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something. Let me grab my thoughts here. What the hell was I about to say? Well, I forgot what it was. I'm sure I'll remember as soon as I turn this video off. But stay tuned. I'm just almost about to. And let me see. Turn this heater on. Yeah, that drops the mileage down quite a bit. So I'll go ahead and, yeah, so stay tuned and I'll turn this back on. I had something to say, but it just escaped me. I was talking about the connector. J1772 connector. All right, so I'll be back on in a little while.